I need you to take a deep breath before we get into this, because what I'm about to break down isn't just another piece of reality TV gossip. This is the kind of rumor that doesn't just shake a household, it rattles reputations, friendships, business empires, and the way millions of fans see a family they thought they understood. The drama surrounding Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker was already dominating conversations. The divorce speculation, the whispers about what really led to the breakdown, the subtle social media shifts. It was enough to keep bloggers busy for months. But just when everyone thought the chaos had reached its peak, a new name started trending alongside theirs: Porsha Williams. And according to explosive online chatter, let me emphasize, online chatter, Porsha is allegedly pregnant with Todd Tucker's baby. Yes, that's the rumor that detonated across timelines. Now, pause, because before we spiral, we have to ground ourselves in what we actually know versus what's being speculated. There has been no public confirmation, no official statement, no documented proof, but that hasn't stopped social media from dissecting every pixel of every post. And that's where this story transforms from rumor into cultural spectacle. Let's rewind to something that many believe quietly ignited this storm. A circulating quote suggested the breakdown of the marriage wasn't about Todd courting women behind her back, it was about him courting women without her. That wording hit differently. It implied a dynamic that was unconventional, layered, possibly misunderstood. Some people even claimed it felt like a misquote. One commentator said, "If I had been the editor-in-chief, I would have corrected that, because language matters, nuance matters, and when you're dealing with a public couple whose life has played out on television, every phrase becomes a puzzle piece." Was that statement innocent? Was it poorly phrased? Or did it hint at a truth no one was ready to unpack publicly? From there, the speculation machine started running, and it hasn't stopped since. For years, Kandi built an empire on talent, resilience, and business savvy. Grammy-winning songwriter, entrepreneur, reality television mainstay, she crafted a brand that blended authenticity with aspiration. Her marriage to Todd was often portrayed as strong, strategic, sometimes imperfect, but ultimately united. Todd, meanwhile, carved out his own identity as a producer and businessman, publicly supportive, occasionally scrutinized, often navigating the pressures of being married to a woman with a massive platform and legacy. Then there's Porsha, charismatic, media-savvy, no stranger to headlines herself. She understands the rhythm of reality TV, the power of silence, and the impact of timing. So when anonymous sources began claiming there were clandestine meetings, carefully coordinated travel schedules, and private interactions that didn't align with public narratives, fans didn't dismiss it outright. They investigated. Old photos resurfaced, overlapping appearances were highlighted, cryptic captions were reinterpreted with new meaning, and suddenly the internet wasn't just watching a divorce, it was constructing a parallel storyline. Perhaps the most emotionally charged part of this narrative centers around Riley. While much of the speculation focuses on adult relationships, insiders allege that Riley may have been blindsided by whispers and inconsistencies she never anticipated confronting. Imagine living in a household where subtle shifts in behavior begin to feel heavier. Allegedly, there were unexplained absences, tension at family gatherings, moments where conversations stopped when someone entered the room. None of this confirmed, but these are the descriptions floating in online spaces. One anonymous voice claimed Riley pieced together fragments, text messages glimpsed, calendar conflicts, and emotional undertones that didn't align with the polished image presented publicly. Whether true or not, the emotional toll of public speculation alone is significant. Being discussed as collateral in a viral rumor storm is not something anyone signs up for. The modern scandal doesn't unfold in tabloids alone, it detonates in real time on social platforms. Within hours of the pregnancy rumor surfacing, timelines were flooded. TikTok analysts slowed down interviews frame by frame. Twitter threads mapped out alleged timelines. Instagram users compared outfits, locations, and lighting like digital detectives. One viral comment read, "This was planned with precision.
Another countered, "Y'all are building conspiracies out of coincidences." And that's the tension here, the line between pattern recognition and projection. Memes exploded, hashtags trended. Some defended Kandi fiercely, positioning her as a woman wronged. Others directed suspicion toward Todd. A smaller but vocal group questioned Porsha's silence. But beneath all of it was one undeniable reality: perception was shifting. What makes this rumor particularly volatile is the timing. Divorce headlines were already saturating media coverage. Legal speculation, asset division conversations, and custody questions were fresh in public consciousness. Then suddenly, a pregnancy allegation enters the narrative. If untrue, it's a devastating rumor. If true, it's an earth-shattering revelation. And the uncertainty is what keeps the story alive.
Some insiders allege the relationship, if it exists, wasn't spontaneous but calculated. Meetings timed strategically, public appearances choreographed to avoid suspicion. Others argue that this is simply the internet weaving drama into ordinary interactions. The truth? At this point, it remains unverified. Whenever high-profile figures face scandal, the ripple effects often extend beyond personal relationships. Brands become cautious, networks evaluate risk, partnerships are quietly reassessed. There are whispers, again unconfirmed, that public relations teams are monitoring sentiment closely, that collaborators are choosing strategic silence, that future projects may be under review. In today's media landscape, reputation can influence revenue overnight. Even allegations can cause hesitation in boardrooms. And when fame intersects with family, business and emotion collide. One of the most fascinating aspects of this saga is the debate over intention. Was there a deliberate strategy behind any of this? Or is this a situation where private complexity collided with public curiosity and spiraled out of control? Reality television has always walked a delicate line between authenticity and production. Viewers know they're seeing curated moments, yet they form genuine attachments. So when something disrupts that narrative, especially something as explosive as an alleged pregnancy involving intertwined social circles, it feels personal. Fans aren't just consuming gossip, they're re-evaluating years of storylines. It's easy to forget that behind trending hashtags are real people navigating real emotions. Allegedly, confrontations happened behind closed doors, hard conversations, demands for clarity, emotional fallout that can't be edited for television. If even half of what's circulating online is inaccurate, the impact of speculation alone is heavy. If any of it is accurate, the emotional reckoning is equally profound. Trust, once fractured, doesn't repair overnight. Public image, once questioned, rarely returns untouched. And for Riley, or anyone positioned at the center of public-family tension, the experience can shape how they view relationships, loyalty, and privacy forever. We live in a time where commentary moves faster than confirmation, where narratives are constructed collectively before facts are established, where screenshots become evidence and silence becomes admission. Some argue this is accountability culture, others call it digital vigilantism. But in this case, the court of public opinion is fully in session. Every gesture is reinterpreted, every smile analyzed, every statement parsed for hidden meaning. And yet, we still don't have definitive answers. That's the question hanging over this entire situation. Will there be a statement, a denial, a confirmation, legal action, silence? Sometimes silence protects privacy, sometimes it fuels speculation. If the pregnancy rumor proves false, this becomes a case study in how quickly reputations can be destabilized by unverified claims. If proven true, it reshapes not just a marriage narrative, but entire social dynamics in a very public circle. Either way, the consequences are real. This isn't just another celebrity story, it's a reflection of how fame, family, and digital culture collide in 2026. It's about how carefully curated images can unravel under scrutiny. It's about how audiences feel ownership over stories that may be far more complicated than they appear.
However, sometimes a slight shift in language can open the door to a completely different narrative. Now hold on tight, because if you thought the saga surrounding Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker had already reached maximum chaos, buckle up. Because according to explosive online chatter amplified by blogger Tasha K, a new revelation has allegedly entered the chat, and it's the kind of rumor that doesn't just shake a household, it rattles an entire industry. The rumor? That Porsha Williams is allegedly pregnant with Todd Tucker's baby. Let that sink in. A pregnancy allegation, surfacing while divorce headlines were already dominating timelines. A supposed secret hiding in plain sight while fans were busy dissecting property settlements, custody speculation, and subtle social media clues. If true, it would change everything. If false, it's one of the most explosive rumors to hit reality TV culture in years. And somewhere in the middle of this storm, Riley. For years, Kandi Burruss has been more than a reality star. She's a Grammy-winning songwriter, a business mogul, a brand architect. From music to restaurants to television, she built an empire rooted in intelligence and control. On screen, viewers saw a woman balancing career and family, navigating disagreements with sharp wit and calm composure. Even during tense moments, she maintained a strategic steadiness that many admired. Her marriage to Todd Tucker was often portrayed as layered but stable. They disagreed publicly at times, sure, finances, priorities, business ventures, but it always appeared as the kind of friction that strong couples work through. Together, they seemed like partners building something bigger than themselves. Todd, for his part, was often depicted as ambitious and supportive, yet sometimes struggling under the weight of public scrutiny. Being married to a woman as accomplished and financially powerful as Kandi comes with its own pressures. Still, they presented a united front. And that's why this alleged revelation feels so destabilizing to fans, because it challenges not just a marriage, but the carefully curated image of a household. When Tasha K allegedly amplified the claim that Porsha Williams might be pregnant with Todd's child, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Within hours, timelines were flooded with commentary, reaction videos, and digital detectives piecing together supposed evidence. Old photos were resurfaced, past interviews were rewatched, overlapping public appearances were mapped out like a crime board in a detective drama. Anonymous sources claimed this wasn't random, that there were late-night meetings, strategically timed flights, carefully orchestrated public appearances. According to these whispers, every Instagram post, every red carpet smile, every casual brunch photo may have been part of a bigger picture. One alleged insider described it as a live-action chess match, where timing and secrecy were everything. Now, again, these are allegations, no confirmations, no official statements validating this pregnancy rumor, but that hasn't slowed down speculation. Perhaps the most emotionally charged aspect of this unfolding narrative is Riley. Insiders claim she may have begun noticing subtle inconsistencies, shifts in energy, unexplained absences, moments that didn't quite add up, public smiles that felt slightly forced, conversations that stopped when she entered the room. Imagine being young and suddenly sensing that the stability you relied on might not be as solid as it seemed. Sources allege that Riley confronted both Kandi and Todd at some point, seeking clarity, and according to whispers, those conversations were tense, emotional, and layered with unspoken truths. Whether those reports are accurate or not, the emotional toll of being discussed publicly in the middle of such a rumor is undeniable. The modern scandal doesn't wait for confirmation, it evolves in real time. Twitter threads dissected every caption Porsha had posted in the last 2 years. TikTok analysts slowed down interview clips frame by frame, claiming certain expressions revealed hidden tension. One viral comment read, "Everything we thought was real was a lie." Another argued, "Y'all are building conspiracies out of coincidences." Hashtags trended overnight, memes flooded Instagram, YouTube commentators went live for hours debating timelines.
The internet split into factions, those defending Kandi fiercely, those accusing Todd of betrayal, those questioning Porsha's silence, and those insisting this is nothing more than digital fiction. In the court of public opinion, nuance rarely survives. What makes this rumor particularly volatile is when it surfaced. The divorce between Kandi and Todd was already headline news. Fans were speculating about asset division, family loyalty, and long-term compatibility. Then, suddenly, a pregnancy allegation drops. If false, it's cruel. If true, it's seismic.
Some insiders claim the alleged relationship, if it exists, wasn't impulsive but carefully orchestrated. Meetings allegedly disguised as casual outings, text messages reportedly coded with subtle language, social media posts allegedly choreographed to avoid suspicion. Others argue that this narrative is the product of confirmation bias, that once people expect scandal, they interpret everything through that lens. The truth, as of now, remains unverified. In today's media landscape, personal controversy can quickly become professional risk. There are whispers that PR teams are monitoring sentiment closely, that brands are evaluating partnerships, that networks may be reassessing future projects. One anonymous tipster allegedly said, "It's like watching an empire tremble. Every endorsement suddenly feels fragile." Again, none of this confirmed, but perception alone can influence decision-making in corporate rooms. Because when your personal life becomes global entertainment, every move is scrutinized. One of the biggest debates online is whether this was strategic or chaotic. Was there intention behind any of this, or did private complexities spiral into public spectacle? Reality television already blurs the line between authenticity and performance. Audiences know there's production involved, yet they form genuine emotional attachments. So when a rumor like this surfaces, it doesn't feel distant, it feels personal. Fans aren't just consuming gossip, they're reevaluating years of storylines, interviews, and moments they once believed were authentic. Behind every trending topic are real people navigating real emotions. If any of these allegations hold truth, the emotional fallout would be immense. Trust fractured, loyalty questioned, family dynamics permanently altered. And if the allegations are entirely false, the damage of speculation alone can leave lasting scars. Because once doubt is introduced into the public narrative, it lingers. Riley, Porsha, Kandi, Todd, all facing waves of commentary, judgment, and analysis from millions of strangers. So now I'm turning it over to you. Do you think this is an orchestrated narrative? Do you believe there's substance behind the speculation? Who, if anyone, bears responsibility if these rumors are unfounded? And if they're true, what does accountability look like? Drop your thoughts below, respectfully. If this breakdown gave you insight, hit the like button so more people can join the conversation. Share this video with someone who's been following the saga, and subscribe with notifications on, because if there are verified updates, we'll be discussing them with clarity and context. In a world where image is currency and silence speaks volumes, one thing is certain: secrets, real or imagined, don't stay buried forever. And when the truth surfaces, it doesn't whisper, it roars.